Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 3 of Interstellar Talks. Our team is me, Anna, and then I am with Kane, Watts, Girell, and Shy. And then we have a special guest with us here today, Kai Jacobs. Kai, do you want to give us a little introduction about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Kyle Jacobs. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm a senior here at Clemson, and currently I'm working with the basketball team as a student manager and also a strength and conditioning intern.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, so we're just going to head right into questions. So, Kane, if you want to start us off.
Yeah, I'll get us going. My first question has to do is like goal oriented. I know like as a team, obviously you guys are like going for success this season, but like personally for yourself, like as a manager, do you have any specific goals for this season?
Yeah, personally for me right now, I'm looking just to build a strong connection with the staff and the players. Hopefully after college, I'm looking to go to grad school and be a graduate assistant. So continue to work in basketball and have like a more hands-on coaching role instead of a manager. So personally just working to work as hard as I can and build those connections so I can land me an opportunity after college.
And that kind of rolls me right into another question that I have is like what kind of career are you aiming to get to after this?
Yeah, I would love to have some sort of coaching role or administrative role within basketball or athletics in general. I've always wanted to be a coach, and what I've done so far has definitely helped me develop skills needed for that and definitely enforce my career goals in that area. But also, administrative work seems very interesting, and working within like an athletic department and possibly being an athletic director seems cool as well.
I
So
have
that's
a
like
follow-up. Oh,
game day
sorry, Kane.
coaching. Sorry. Like
No, that was my
like
bad.
scheming or like recruiting, being in the front office. What's that look like for you?
Um, I mean, yeah, I would love to develop my knowledge a little more to get in like the more scheming side, but I would love to recruit and scout. I mean, right now I do like a lot of video editing and clip work for the team, so just like cutting up clips of other teams' film to help the coaches and the players out for their future games, and I've really enjoyed that.
I have a little follow-up question. Do you want to stay around Clemson or do you want to go to like a different program? Like, would you apply to a GA position or a graduate program at Clemson, or do you want to maybe go back home to Philly or anywhere else?
Yeah, I would love to stay in Clemson. That would be great. I mean, yeah, coming down from Philadelphia, Clemson's been a new experience, but definitely a great one. And I've met a lot of great people here, and it's a great town. Definitely love to stay here, but also my options are very open. The GA route is a little difficult, especially with basketball season not ending till late March, early April. I wouldn't know about GA positions till a little later on, so definitely just keep my options open right now.
Nice. All right, Watts, if you want to go ahead and ask a couple questions.
Um, Hi Kai, how are you? What has been your favorite part of working for the team?
Um, Definitely just the interactions on a daily basis with the coaches and the players. I actually was able to meet Coach Brad Brownell my freshman year, but now seeing him every day just around the facility knows my name, which is pretty cool. And then just kind of being back in that team environment in high school. I played a few different sports and also was a manager for a few different sports as well. So just being around that team environment and just having that camaraderie is always great as well.
I have one more question. What's a memorable moment that you've had with the team?
So last year when I was doing my strength conditioning internship, I remember the Georgia Tech game, the same week as the Duke game. We didn't have a lift the following day because it was a night game. So the game didn't wrap up till like almost midnight with the triple overtime, and then we had a lift that Thursday morning before
Yeah.
Duke game. And the energy was really high, which was really good to see from the guys. Like obviously we came off a really bad loss and had another big game coming up, so just being in that environment, the energy was really high, and it seemed like the team was really locked in and focused. And then we went on to beat Duke 2 days later, so that was just a great time.
Thank you.
Um, I will hit you with a couple of questions. Really just my main one though is like being a student manager and all that. I'm sure there's difficult tasks that come apart, but like, what would you say is like the most difficult part of your job completely, just in like your normal like day to day?
Um, I don't know. That's a good one. I mean, for me personally, being my first year being a manager, learning to do like the video editing I was talking about earlier. They have like a program that they do it in, and there's a bunch of keybinds that I had to learn. So that was definitely very difficult for me to start, just like learning all those keybinds. Like most of the managers now, like they can finish a game in, like an hour and a half. And I remember my first game it took me to edit like 3 hours probably. So just learning that was very difficult, but I got used to it. And kind of just time management, like being a student and a manager, that a lot of stuff there's required like outside of practice, like the video editing, or guys want to shoot or like get shots up or need help with something like outside of mandated hours. So just being available and balancing time between school.
Yeah. You bring up actually a great point about balancing school and your internship now. Like, how do you really balance really being a manager for men's basketball, but also being a strength and conditioning for women's basketball too? Like, how do you really like? Is there you try to hit requirements each time and then try to give extra work to each sport, or how exactly do you balance that?
Yeah, so I would say last year I was really focused on strength and conditioning. This year is more of like the manager role. But I would say for last year, like doing the men's and the women's strength and conditioning is just like I just working around my schedule. So if I knew that the men were lifting in the morning, I'd probably go to campus, do their lift, and then either go to class or go to the library, do work. So I have time to like go home, eat lunch, and then come back for the woman. And it's kind of the same now, just like being there in the morning with the men and doing stuff with that. And then if the woman need help later in the day and I'm available, like since I'm a manager, I'm more focused on the men's side now and just practicing stuff. But if the men don't have practice, I can always be available to help the woman if needed.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Shy.
All right, so I actually have a request and one question. The request, I need you to tell RJ, Ace, and Dallas, I'm dunking on all of them. In the paint, I'm just like that. I actually have Michael two hand. I don't know. Hit him a little. Tell them all. I want them. Pause. And the other one is the question is like, so how did you get in this position? Like, what was your like thoughts through high school? Did you play ball? Did you not work out? Like, how did you end up being a intern here?
Okay, yeah. So I played competitive basketball up until eighth grade. Then I didn't make the team my freshman year. I remember it was pretty bomb. And then I ended up being like the freshman year manager for the basketball team, which was a really good experience. And then I was gonna go back for it my sophomore year and try and play on the team again. But the varsity coach actually reached out because their manager just graduated and it's like, hey, like we heard you did a good job last year. We'd love to have you help. So I ended up being a manager like all 4 years of high school. And when I got to Clemson, I knew that was something I wanted to do, but didn't know how. And then I met Coach Brownell, and I was able to talk to him, and he told me who to reach out to, and I reached out to them, and they didn't get back to me right away. So kind of my freshman year, kind of blew that off, and then going into my sophomore year, I reached out again, and I got in contact with this guy, and he said since school's already started, I didn't have any positions, but keep reaching out. Then the year after that, that's how I got the strength conditioning. I reached out. He was like, "We don't have a manager, but I know the weight room is looking for some help." So I reached out. Actually, the women's coach got back to me first before the men's coach. So I started with them and then got connected with the men's and kind of just worked from there. So I basically say persistency was the main thing and being resilient, not giving up. Like, don't let denial ever turn you away from anything. Like, timing is very key, and it just wasn't time then. But I've been grateful and very lucky to be able to participate in different opportunities to be connected with these people to get to where I am now.
Yeah. So I have like a little follow up with that. I'm not trying to be like funny or anything. So like your thought process when you wanted to like try out again with the
Mhm.
hey, like you did a good job, you know, like you want to come be a manager again. Like what was going through your head? Was it kind of like did you like not think you would make the team and this was just like an easier route to be a part of it, or was just like your freshman year being a manager was just like so fun and XYZ that you were like, actually, this is what I wanted to do. So like what was the deciding factor between being a manager and being a player?
Honestly, yeah, I had a great time being a manager and I really just enjoyed being around the group and I thought like being like a varsity manager would be cool. Like I'm only a sophomore in high school and I get to be like the head varsity manager for where I went to high school. So I thought that'd just be a really cool opportunity. And honestly, yeah, kind of at that point too, like I thought not my athletic career was behind me, but I knew what I wanted to do. Like I knew I wanted to coach and I feel like it'd be better for me to learn coaching things from like being a manager than like being on the court.
I agree. That was smart.
So, all right. So I'll ask a couple questions as well. So I know you guys are gearing up for the season. When's the first home game again?
Next Monday, November 3rd.
The third? That's what I thought. Yeah, because the women's play the same day, right?
Yeah, they play it in the morning. They play at 11. We play at 7
Oh
p.m.
gosh.
They
On Monday at 11? That's terrible.
Yeah.
play New Hampshire.
Yes, we play New Hampshire. I don't know the women play. I know we play New Hampshire.
I should know. I think I'm working
I
it. So maybe
saw,
not.
yeah, I know we play some like small school. I knew
Might be Presbyterian, maybe. I'm not.
Yeah, whoever said that, I think it's correct.
That sounds right.
So yeah, going into that, just talking about like the first game coming up and stuff like that. What I mean, this is your first year as a student manager. But what do you think like your day in a life would look like during a game day? Like, how are you gearing up for that? How's the team gearing up for it? And like, how do you like if it's on a Monday, especially like it is a night game, but I'm sure the team does hours of prep before it. Like you don't just get there at game time and show up and play. So how is that? What is the day in your life on a game day going to look like?
Yeah, for me, so we did like a mock for our scrimmage we had against Presbyterian almost 2 weeks ago now. So basically, we'll have morning shooting that morning, and then we'll go along with our day. And it's back to the facility about 3.5 hours before the game, and we're there just to help the players stretch and warm up. Like even before the fans get in the arena, players are getting shots up on the court, and then they'll come out, and we'll just have to like rebound and stuff. And there's a lot of different things a lot of different managers do, like make sure that the away team has like towels and stuff in their locker room. The refs have towels. Make sure that the refs get a meal for after the game. Make sure that our locker room is clean once the game starts, and then go back in there at halftime. And then, like I said, like I was cutting up videos or clips for videos. Like our managers are also cutting up clips from the game as the game is going on for the coaches to use at halftime for different pointers as well. So since we have like a big group of us, I think there's 14 of us, I want to say. So there's a lot of different things going on. But yeah, it just starts with morning shooting in the morning. They get back to the facility about 3.5 hours before and just be available to do anything asked of you at the time.
Awesome. And then going into my second question, how do you like first, what's your favorite thing to do? And then like during practice and how do you help out during that? And even like around the facility, like you were just touching on, like helping out with towels and stuff like that. Like obviously that's probably not your most favorite thing to do. Neither probably clipping videos. It can probably get a little tedious and annoying. But what would you like how do you help out around the like for the team during practice and like the facility wise? Like how do those differ?
Yeah, so for practice, our main responsibility is to make sure that we have a towel on hand. So if a player falls and like they're sweaty, obviously, so the court's gonna get wet. So make sure that we wipe that up and make sure that the players get water as well. I'd probably say my favorite thing is just like bring energy during practice. Like the players can get like locked in, but like also our job is just to make sure that everything's going well. We're helping the coaches, we're helping the players. And I feel like one way we can do that is bring energy. So just make sure we're clapping, we're talking, like we're making sure that the players are engaged as well. And like that's always really fun. So I feel like for practices, like making sure we're having like a basketball ready for coach needs one or a player needs one, having a towel ready to wipe up the court, or if a player needs to wipe off their hands or their face, and then make sure the players get water during breaks. And then helping out around the facility, just like kind of just being at the facility. I mean, it's a really great place to hang out. Like we have a lounge and stuff, so I can always go there and do homework. So if I'm ever just hanging out there and one of the managers or coaches text like, "Hey, I need help with this player at this time," it's easy just to go out to the core and help rebound for them.
Nice. Awesome. Does anyone else have any more questions that might have come up?
I got one.
Yes.
Have a little fun right now. Who is the GOAT?
Who's the GOAT? What do you mean? All time?
All time basketball player, NBA. You all right, tell you what, make it a little bit easier. Give me your starting five lineup right now.
Starting five. Oh my
Everybody
God.
prime.
All right. Steph Curry.
Whoa.
LeBron James. No, this is a great five.
Wait,
This
is this
not
one
even
through
like-
five? Is this one through five?
No, it's not 1 through 5. Curry's the one.
Okay.
LeBron the 3. KD the 5. No, KD not the 5. KD the 4. Give me Shaq at the 5. Give me Jordan at the 2.
Shy, now you're making this face. You gotta give us yours. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
like Shaq is probably the most dominant center of all time. KD is one of the most talented scorers the game has ever seen. LeBron's the greatest player to ever play this game. Steph Curry's the best point guard to ever play this game. Jordan's a top 3 player all time. Like that's a great 5.
Whoa. Top 3.
Top 2 player all time. I'm sorry.
Okay. As long as that was clear.
I mean, I'm not.
Right.
Being from Philly, I thought you would say Wilt Chamberlain.
I would say Wilt, but Shaq played in the air against way better players than Wilt. Wilt's a great center though, so and Shaq, like he averaged like 30-some points in the finals. Like who's really doing it? He had Kobe on his team, averaged 30 in the finals. Like
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Think about basketball, so I can't put up a good argument as I could football. But not saying Magic over Steph really threw me off. I can't even.
I think Steph is the greatest point guard of all time. Easily the best shooter of all time.
And where's Kobe? How do you?
I don't know. Are you choosing Kobe? Like, Kobe wasn't even the best player on his team. When you really think about it, when they won the finals, Shaq was the best player. In the finals, at least. Maybe not in the regular season, but in the finals, Shaq was the best player, the most dominant player.
I don't know. I feel like I'm taking Kevin Garnett too.
You're taking. I would not take KG over KD. Maybe this team might be lacking a little defense, but they're going to score. That's all that matters.
But that's what I'm saying. Your team's lacking. So when I got like, when you put, I don't know, Dennis Rodman was a 5, right? Or was he a 4?
I think he was a 5.
5. Yeah, no, he plays 5.
Yeah, so when you put Kevin Garnett and Dennis Rodman right there, like the paint's done. LeBron's not really knocking threes like that. That's crazy.
LeBron's prime is knocking threes. What are you talking about?
I mean, he's hitting threes. Listen, all I know is the paint's done, so everybody's gonna have to shoot.
I mean, we got Shaq. LeBron could guard 1 through 5.
You could have grabbed Ray Allen over Steph. I mean, I don't.
Ray Allen.
Shy does not like Steph Curry. Shy does not like Steph Curry.
He is hating.
He's just a shooter. You put Magic in front of Steph. I don't know. I don't think he's going anywhere. Steph's not coming in the paint with Garnett and Rodman in there, so he's gonna have to shoot. And Magic's like 6'6", 6'7", so you're really not like you're not just gonna.
No.
I don't know.
I knew that was gonna come. I knew someone was gonna do it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I think we should wrap it up there. I don't know what's going on anymore. Hi, thank you so much for your time and joining us tonight, and answering all of our questions and getting into that debate, if we want to call it that. So yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for having me.
Of course.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of Interstellar Talks. I'm here with Anna, Shy, Kane, and Watts. And today we have a new topic of using sports news media to create awareness for marginalized communities. And we're all just going to hit that topic and get our group discussion going. So, Shy, would you like to get us started?
Yeah. Okay. So my question for all of us is, how does an athlete decide and determine how and when they're going to speak out on like social issues and stuff?
You got it.
I can answer. My opinion on that question, maybe like the "My Cause, My Cleats" is put like, or like write something on your jersey, or something like that. That like, that's my opinion on that. Like wear something like like wear like something that has the meaning on it. If you know what I mean.
I can go next.
I would say that like I don't know if I cut anybody off, but I think
I don't know if
it depends on
my mic called my place on this.
Right. It depends on like when they feel it's important. I think like the biggest I want to say example of it is definitely Colin Kaepernick. He felt that it had boiled to a point that nobody was paying attention, and maybe for him writing something wasn't enough. So he took not a stand, he took a knee. And so that was, when he felt that he needed to express himself and, raise awareness. So I think it really depends on what the issue is, how serious the athlete feels it is, and like how drastic of measures they decide to take.
Yeah, I would say also as well in this digital media, social media era that I think athletes can have a lot more say if they want and if they choose to. I feel like before they would have to do bigger things, and like, not to say that like posting on social media isn't like big, but like I think it might get passed and it won't be seen as by so many people if it doesn't happen on national television, because some athletes have a more niche audience than others, and it doesn't always make national news. So if a player does feel strongly enough to go and use their voice and use social media, that is a way to kind of show their feelings towards a certain situation or cause.
I have a follow-up question. Oh, Girell, if you want to answer. Nope.
Nope. You go ask, bro. Go ahead.
So my follow-up question for everybody is, do you think we like put like too much like pressure, or like do we hold like athletes to like a higher standard in this topic? So like how does that make sense? Kind of like
Yeah.
should like
And then like,
sport
do we put too much pressure on them? Is that what you're trying to say?
yeah, like should sport and athletes like have this much of a impact and say so? Because like let's take Colin Kaepernick for example. That's a Super Bowl caliber quarterback, and he got blackballed by the NFL. Which in like reality, like we shouldn't care like what he thinks. He's here to play football, so it's like we ruined his career because of his beliefs when he like again he's a Super Bowl quarterback. So like should athletes and even have like that big of a say so in this topic?
I don't think there's necessarily like an obligation for them to have such like a horse in the race, but that's kind of just like a parasocial thing, is because fans will want whoever they support to have the same beliefs and like speak out against the things that they care about. And that's not like something that applies only to sports. Like you'll see it in like pop culture too. Like you go to an Instagram comment section under like Taylor Swift and they'll be like, "Oh, but you're not speaking out about this." Who cares? She makes music. It's kind of the same thing with sports.
Heard that.
Yeah. I also think that like how much media coverage they get, I'm not sure how much of a choice they have. Because any interview, I guess they could just not answer the question. But then off of what Kane said, like that parasocial thing, like then people are going to complain you're not even talking about it at all or giving an opinion. So I feel that with all the publicity that they get, that there's not much of an option whether they like it, whether we like it or not. It just has to happen, quote unquote, has to happen. So I mean, I guess wish not, so they could just focus maybe just on playing sports and not having to worry about that social aspect. But unfortunately, that's just not how it is, especially with social media now. I'd say.
Do you guys how are your parasocials with that? Like, what's your thoughts on it? So let's say like you have this belief, and your favorite player to ever play any sport is on the complete opposite side of the spectrum. Are you gonna not like him just because he's different from you, regardless of the fact how good he is?
I can start with this one. Uh, I don't think I would dislike the player. I might think some things, but I like to watch it just more because they're good at, or if they're my favorite player. Whether I try to like Mookie Betts, for example, like I try to copy my game in high school off of him, how he bats and all of that. So like maybe he won't believe in something I believe in, but like I'm still gonna try to copy my play style off of that, and still like he will influence me on how I play. So for me, I'm more focused on that sports aspect. So I would think may think one way, but it's not. It won't affect me actually liking them as a player.
I'm right.
As long as he performs on the court and doesn't like for your team, my opinion on it is probably if as long as he like doesn't let the thing that you don't like affect him playing for your team and your sport, then I think it's fine.
Funny.
Yeah.
Good.
Um, Great questions and follow-ups. I will now roll into my question. I really just have one. With how much social media there is on podcasts and just like Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, whatever anyone uses. Who do you guys think in today's media has like the biggest influence on spreading awareness, whether it's like that podcaster or even a professional influencer or even a professional player? Like, do you think like who's the biggest? Who do you think really has that influence that can really sway the media on someone's opinion? Tough question. Take time to
Yeah,
think.
I'm thinking. I
I
don't need to come up with a person.
I low key don't have an answer, but I'm just gonna like try to put one together. I low key think it just depends on like the person, like obviously somebody who's like not that big into sports forks. Somebody who's like not like that big into sports isn't gonna care what sorry professor what Josh Allen has to say on XYZ, or
Mm.
somebody who's not big into music and doesn't care about music isn't gonna like care about Taylor Swift's opinion because to them they're like irrelevant. Like if somebody that that plays like golf has some type of political view or like whatever, like I'm not gonna care because like I don't care about golf. I don't know this guy. So I think it kind of just depends on like the what they like. So like because obviously like if you're a huge football fan and freaking Peyton Manning comes and says this, you're gonna like listen to it more than if you hate Taylor Swift and Taylor Swift comes up and says, like it kind of just depends on the person and what you like and who's speaking.
Do you want us to give like a tier list answer type thing here?
You could, like, I have like one person in mind that I think when they hop on this place, like the
Okay. I
influence
would
they
say out of like the people that you mentioned, I would put
like
like podcaster like bottom of the list.
kind of.
Because I feel like people like podcasters don't really have a sway unless they are some other kind of person. Like unless it is an athlete, unless it is an influencer, nobody's gonna tune into a podcast just because. But I would say like athlete probably has more sway over influencer because like influencers exist just to kind of like share themselves, not really like push any messages. But like people have such like love towards athletes for what they've done for like their team or their city over the years that they'll believe stuff more.
right.
Yeah, I think I found a little bit of an answer, different than what they both said. But not because it's like I've seen anything in the past, but just I think their kind of like audience is growing and getting bigger. I think if Travis Kelce, because we've been talking about Taylor Swift, so of course it came to mind. If Travis Kelce were to talk about it, he now has a bigger audience than he ever thought he probably would because of his relationship. So if he were to speak out about certain issues, I think it would have a lot of influence just because I think a whole different demographic that now follows him and cares about like what's going on with him and the Chiefs, I think it would gain a lot of traction and have like a bigger influence. I mean, yeah, he's on a podcast and stuff, but he doesn't talk about like any bigger, deep issues, I guess, socially that's going on around in the world because that's not his place and that's not who he is. But if he ever were to step into those shoes and try and like get more into that realm, I think it would have a big influence probably on a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm a big
Watts.
David Portney fan just because like, and you being from Boston, you would probably understand too why you like him. Just because like not only he does like he speaks his own meetings, but like he also like does like he helps with like Humane Society. He helps with like he just like if someone has like trouble with something, I feel like he like helps them in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was more thinking like, oh, those are great answers. I actually wasn't thinking about it like that.
I really think of an athlete that like on top of my head right now.
Right. I was more thinking like Joe Rogan is who pops into my mind because of how many influence he has on it. So spreading that awareness would be like pretty high. But I actually didn't think about it the other way that you guys said, and I agree that like athletes, especially with like the Taylor Swift thing that you mentioned.
VJ Edgecomb's pretty cool just because he keeps like the story about him being from the Bahamas.
Right. So yeah, athletes definitely. I would like if you tiered it like you were talking about Kane, the athletes would definitely have the most. But Anna, you can move us on.
Yeah, sounds good. So I was just thinking from more of like a reporter's perspective. Do you think like this is also opinion based? Do you think that reporters like try and incorporate this in and give people a fair story in their sports stories, or do you think they just kind of like feel like they're obligated to put something in? Or do you think that the athletes, when reporters are talking with them, have a fair voice on certain situations, or do you think like the questions might be tailored more towards it? And like we talked about a little bit previously, like maybe some they can't just say like no comment, or they can, but it's not really recommended in sports PR.
I do feel like some reporters do ask some stupid questions. That's my opinion.
I
Just
like.
like they just like I don't know. Go on, sure.
Oh, I was just gonna say like reporters and like journalists and stuff. Like I do think they like cater their questions and like the way they want it to go a certain way. So like they may give you like a free range question, but the way they word that question is gonna like make your brain think a certain way or try to get you to say the wrong thing. Because again, like they're in their mind, they're like, okay, this headline is gonna get the best like views and clicks and impressions and all of that. So I'm gonna try to push him that way. So it's like if I could ask you what your favorite candy is, and you can give me like a million different answers. But if I'm like, I seen you eating a pack of Skittles, like what was that? What should like you love Skittles? Like something crazy like that. Like I think they like push their questions depending on how they want the story to go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ride right off that and say I just don't think there is a very fair shake in media, mostly because they just have a narrative that they want to push. I'm a Philly fan, and if you've tuned into any Philly sports media over the last 3 years, you've heard that AJ Brown hates Philadelphia and he wants to leave. He's been here for a while and he seems to like it, but every week they'll push that story out. And it's kind of like the same thing. Caleb Williams is another example. The media really doesn't like him. And so you'll hear like announcers on TV will be like, oh, that's a bad throw. He's been throwing bad passes all night. And then versus the other side, maybe Jaden Daniels, who kind of has this golden boy figure in the NFL, they'll be like, oh, that's his first miss tonight. He'll get right back on it. So definitely not like a fair voice to equal opportunities or stories or narratives.
Yeah, I definitely agree because like another thing about it is like with reporters and stuff, like Baker did the same exact thing Patrick Mahomes did, but yet Mahomes got more credit, if you know what I mean. Remember that?
Yes.
Baker Mayfield's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Yeah, I'd go into my second question, and I think it's a pretty tough one because I couldn't even think of one. Just like some examples that that athletes or even like sports organizations and teams themselves have like a situation where they have effectively used like the media, social media, like live interviews, press conferences, stuff like that to raise awareness for a social issue. I know it's a tough question. It's a really tough one. But we talked about
earlier. Right. Colin Kaepernick, that was one. Watts talked about the cleats, with the players writing stuff on cleats. I'd say that's a big one. And you see that throughout the NFL. I'd say like those are big. I also know, have you guys heard of like LeBron talk about that more than an athlete thing by any chance? Yeah. So like I think that would be another like great example of like him trying to get past the sport of basketball and more about into awareness throughout just society itself, whatever your opinion is, but you got to look past that and really just raise that type of thing. So those are like the examples that come to mind for me.
Yeah, the Eagles have a big foundation. It's called Eagles Autism. And they have it branded all over their stadium. They have like events and charity auctions. They have a big bike race every year. All the players are involved. So I think that's like one organization that like makes it their like own job to raise awareness because I think it's something that like means something personal to all the owners.
Nice. All right. Well, Watts, I'll pass it on to you for your questions.
Sorry, let me see if I can find them. How can athletes use media to help cause how can athletes use media to help causes that matter to them?
I can start with this one. I feel athletes know what the media is trying to do. They're trying to get clicks, you know? So I feel that athletes maybe can, like Shy was bringing up earlier, how reporters may frame their question different so the athlete gives an answer that they want. I feel that the athletes can frame their answer more to where they can push out this media agenda or push out a certain opinion that they have that they want the media to put out. So I think it's kind of like a game between the reporters and the athletes themselves on what they want to get out into the media and what they actually believe and what they want people to think they believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel.
Kind of like bringing it like closer to home because like obviously we all know like I'm an athlete here. I kind of just stopped caring on the repercussions on like the other side of how I feel, and I haven't really gotten like too many like negative like pushback, any like backlashes or anything like that, just because like it's been a while now, and like when people think of it, they're like, oh, like that's such a Shyhiem thing to repost, or like that's such a Shyhiem thing to say, and a lot of them are like heinous. And like I do keep like the crazy ones to like the inner circle, but it's kind of like I don't know, like if you really just kind of like if you're just here to play ball and you're just gonna be yourself, I think it's a lot easier to speak out on certain things versus like if you live up to the expectation of like the world and XYZ. When it's time for you to have a voice and you go against what the world thinks, then that's where like the problems come in. So I think as long as like the athlete stays like authentic throughout their career, in like whatever way they want to do that, then it shouldn't be like a big issue whenever they want to speak up. So it's like if you see a post and you don't like it, repost it. Like I don't know, if you go through my, you're probably gonna be like, he got away with that? Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
really it's as easy as just like an Instagram story, because athletes do tend to have such like a large following online that they don't need to do a whole lot just to get eyes on something that's important or something that matters to them. And then, of course, like whoever mentioned the game between the media and the athletes, like you could always just raise something or wear a T-shirt while making an appearance somewhere, or wear something during game day. Like they don't have to put in a lot of effort, but when they do put in some effort, it ends up meaning a lot.
Yeah. You have another question, Watts?
Yeah, I have one more. Why do you think certain stories get more attention than others on sports media?
Rage babe.
Nowadays, valid.
Hey,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
AJ
I
the Eagles. No, he does.
yeah. I also think name weighs heavy in most athletes. Like LeBron's gonna get a cover over any athlete. Like let's be honest. Like LeBron has some type of anything, it's getting publicized more than AJ Brown leaving the Eagles. I also think like sports, like more popular sports definitely have more influence than other sports. So I definitely think there's
Like for
more
example,
publicity.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Jalen Brown just like shot a buzzer beater just a second ago in the game. Do you think he'll get more publicity if like Cooper Flag shot a buzzer beater because he's a rookie?
Right. No, I think Cooper Flag would because right, exactly, he's a rookie. So like name weight definitely weighs heavy, circumstance of the game, the sport. Yeah.
And that just goes back to what you said earlier when Baker Mayfield did the same thing, Patrick Mahomes. Listen, like football fans, we love Baker Mayfield. Yeah, crazy, crazy. But the world, everybody wants to see Patrick Mahomes in this little Chiefs dynasty. Whether it's like hate or love, like the Chiefs brings in clicks. Baker Mayfield is not Baker Mayfield is quite literally only bringing in like this amount of clicks, and the Chiefs is bringing in like. So also what the fans,
He's bringing clicks too now because of Taylor Swift.
which is
Right.
yeah, exactly. So it's like obviously they're gonna push the Chiefs. Like they now reaching Taylor Swift fans. So
Yeah, I remember that was like a huge thing, especially at the beginning when they would like pan to Taylor Swift like every 2 seconds. Like the media blew up and was like, "What the heck? Screw this!" Like it was funny.
which
Yeah.
is a click, a view is a view. They do whether it's bad or good, a view is a view, and that's all they care about.
Yeah, like some people didn't some people that like Taylor Swift that like just became Chiefs fans. The only person they knew on the Chiefs was like Travis Kelce. So
Right.
it's just the only reason they like him is because of Travis Kelce.
Right. All right, Kane, would you like to close us off?
Yeah, I've just got one question. And it falls like, is it the obligation to raise awareness? Does that fall on the athlete or is that like the media's job?
Ooh.
I can go first. I really think it can go both ways. I don't know if there's a straight answer for that or if I feel strongly to have a straight answer. But I would probably say an athlete just because it's their voice that would be speaking on a certain issue or bringing awareness to a certain issue. So they must have like some sort of connection with it or reason for doing so. If the media just brings up a certain issue and starts asking an athlete about it, maybe they're not so connected with that and they could get like not have a good answer to say to them. But then also again, like the media, I mean, they do have certain responsibilities to like bring awareness to social issues that maybe like the like especially sports media like that maybe people don't see on like the normal news every day.
I'm gonna have to disagree here. I think it's solely the media. Like I think the player can do what they want, but like you said with responsibilities, if it doesn't get out, no one knows. Like you can think of I don't even know. You guys probably don't even know who. Well, maybe now if he just got traded, but Keon White he used to play for the Patriots. He just got traded. He's worn cleats before, but if you've never heard of him or his awareness, you don't know anything about it. Like you're not going to support it. You're not going to like whatever his awareness is, send money or even just spread the word. You're not going to do that because the media didn't do a good enough job like spreading that nationally. But a smaller player like that, a smaller market, you just want to spread that more probably towards that area, like New England area. I just know about it because I watch. It's my team, but I really think it's solely on the media to really get that objective out, and they have some control on who gets what publicity and what Watts talked about earlier. If there's more stories about one player than the other one, I really think it's just like solely the media.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just because, like, obviously, like, the media controls everything. Like, Patrick Mahomes has no voice if he has no media coverage. So it's like completely up to the media to make sure they're giving us what like we want to hear. But so say the question again too, because I kind of lost with everybody answers. I kind of lost the plot.
Yeah, it's if raising
I-
awareness is
okay.
like the responsibility of the athlete or the media itself.
Yeah, like I'm back with Girell. I think it's back on like the media, and also depends on the situation as well. Because like obviously all the stuff going on in other countries, like what is Baker Mayfield know about the stuff going on in other countries? Like why are we asking him that? Like that's not his job to come and tell us to do this and that. You know, that's the media to bring everybody together and whatever. You know.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you guys. Like I know Gronk is like a Fox analyst now, but I don't think many people are going to take serious advice or like listen to Gronk seriously ever. But if it comes from like an official member of like whatever station he works for, I believe it's Fox, then it's probably going to be a little more like respected and trustworthy than a guy who hit his head in a football game for 10 years of his life. So that's
CTE.
just where I'm sitting.
Oh.
Yeah. Watts, do you have anything to add on that?
Say it again. Sorry.
On raising like whose responsibility is the athlete or the media?
I don't really have a answer on that. No.
Fair enough. Well, we thank you guys for tuning in to what is this episode four, episode 3 of Interstellar Talks. And next week again, we'll have our guest and what is to believe the last episode. So already 3/4 of the way there. Last one next week. Can't wait to see you guys then.
Forza
Happy Halloween.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.